Croten, Svien, Esrevin, New, Lelrapi, Eta, G294 name, Noise Nemi, D, Morph, Nitropel, from Balbi, Oproles, my neighbor from Flyrog, Way, Lee Ole.
Shlorpo, you've got it again. Temporal echo syndrome. Here, take 2 tablets of Lexiflow.
Nam, Yeko.
Did it help at all, Shlorpo?
Lord dear jeez, me tell you, man, no don't.
It's an improvement. Here, take 2 more.
Oh, Gamie, how do I sound now? Am I all better? Are we good to go?
You sound like you again. For those not in the know, temporal echo syndrome, or TES, is a common side effect of interdimensional broadcasting. The quantum frequencies can occasionally reverse an individual's speech patterns. Lexiflow, not a sponsor, helps recalibrate the user's personal timeline with the local temporal flow. Now on to the news.
Alright, Muff Beans, so picture this. My dimension-hopping degenerates and delinquents, you're in Dimension Q77. The air smells vaguely of ozone and celebrity perfume. Ew! You wander into a little dive bar, the Quantum Cork, and what the hell is on stage? A karaoke machine that looks like it was designed by a mad scientist who really, really loved disco? Oh no! And who steps up to the mic? None other than the national treasures of their respective universes. Nicolas Cage and Beyoncé. Oh wow. One a supernova of chaotic energy, a real mess, the other a literal queen. What could possibly go wrong? You know, besides everything. Apparently, they decided to duet a little ditty called Crazy in Love. A classic, right? But this wasn't your grandma's karaoke machine, no sir. This baby runs on pure, unadulterated quantum entanglement, oh yeah. As Nick Cage hit that iconic uh-oh with the kind of primal scream he usually reserves for discovering bees, and Beyoncé was channeling the raw power of 1,000 suns, their vocal frequencies perfectly harmonized. Rock on! And not just in a musical sense, I'm talking their soul signatures, their very essence, their je ne sais quoi, if you will, got all tangled up in the machine's particle accelerator. The result? A flash of light brighter than my future, for sure, a sound like a record scratching across the fabric of reality, and then, poof, silence. When the glitter dust settled, Beyoncé, now inhabiting the body of Nicolas Cage, oh my, looked down at her hands and reportedly whispered, I am the Declaration of Independence. Meanwhile, Nick Cage, now rocking the fierce physique of Queen Bey, struck a pose and shouted, put the bunny back in the box. It was a scene of beautiful, beautiful chaos. The kind of chaos that gets me out of bed in the morning and makes me appreciate my life. Now, the tabloids in Q77 are having an absolute field day. Bey Cage's new look, fierce or frightening? From single ladies to stealing antiquities, is this the ultimate glow-up? They're speculating wildly. Did they do it on purpose for a publicity stunt? Well, I don't know. Is this the most avant-garde performance art piece ever conceived? Probably not. Was this all a secret plot to finally figure out what's on page 47 of the President's Book of Secrets? Who really cares? But the possibilities are as endless as they are hilarious. I, for one, hope they stay this way. I'd pay to see Nicolas Cage headline Coachella. Not a lot, but I'd pay.
While Shlorpo's enthusiasm is noted, the scientific principles are slightly more nuanced. Quantum karaoke technology utilizes sonic resonance to create temporary micro-wormholes between the singer's vocal cords and the machine's quantum processor. In this specific incident, the harmonic convergence of 2 unusually potent biosignatures, Mr. Cage's documented chaotic energy field and Ms. Knowles' powerful resonant frequency, created a feedback loop. This loop didn't just transmit audio data, it initiated a full-scale bioinformation transfer. Think of it less as a swap and more like 2 supercomputers accidentally downloading each other's entire operating system. Their consciousness, memories, and motor skills were momentarily copied onto each other's neural hardware. It's a 1 in a trillion event, a perfect storm of vocal power and unstable quantum physics. The local authorities are calling it a spontaneous consciousness exchange, or SCE. The effects are predicted to be temporary. As their bodies' homeostatic fields reassert themselves, their consciousnesses should migrate back to their original hosts. The projected timeline for this soul reboot is approximately 72 standard hours. During this period, both individuals have been advised to avoid high-stress situations, operating heavy machinery, and, most importantly, any further karaoke. The risk of making the swap permanent is, while small, statistically significant. Of course, the long-term psychological ramifications are yet to be determined. Will Beyoncé have a sudden urge to star in a movie about a man who thinks he's a vampire? Will Nicolas Cage develop an unexpected talent for complex choreography and dropping surprise albums that change the entire music industry overnight? Honestly, the data suggests this could be a net positive for both of them. We'll be monitoring the situation and providing updates as they become available. Back to you, Shlorpo.
Thank you very much, Gamie. Now hold on to your pepperoni, folks, because this next story is a real gut punch. We're talking about a crime so heinous, so damn cheesy, it has sent curdled ripples across the timeline. Ooh-wee! I'm talking about the great time-traveling pizza heist of 1985. A gang of chronological criminals, who I can only assume call themselves the Doe Paredos, used a modified DeLorean, or something equally cliche, to zip back to the most glorious of decades. Their mission: to steal every single pizza delivered on one fateful night. Well, that's whack, but imagine it a simpler time. Big hair, neon leg warmers, and the comforting promise of a hot Domino's pizza arriving in 30 minutes or less. But on this night, the pizzas never came. Oh, bummer, man. From New York to Los Angeles, every doorbell rang to an empty fucking porch. Every hungry family, every group of teens watching the Goonies for the 10th time was left staring into a void of cheese-less despair. Oh, well, that's kind of sad. These bandits didn't just steal food. They stole joy, the bastards. They stole a damn cultural touchstone. They probably stole those little plastic table thingies too, the monsters. The immediate effect in 1985 was a night of mass disappointment and confusion. Pizza Hut switchboards were flooded. People blamed Cold War conspiracies, prankster fraternity bros, even those damn pesky gremlins. I can only imagine. Sheesh. But the real consequences, my friends, are being felt right here, right now, in our present day. This single act of culinary larceny has created a catastrophic freaking butterfly effect. Oh my goddamn. Think about it. Without that one night of pizza, thousands of small pizzerias went out of business. Like, damn the corporations. The demand for mozzarella plummeted. Well, shiver me timbers. This domino effect, or I guess Domino's effect, has cascaded through the decades. Poor Italian cheese artisans, deprived of their primary market, switched to making less delicious things, like artisanal shoelaces. Yuck! The global cheese supply chain, which was apparently more fragile than my ego, completely crumbled. And that brings us to today, 2025, a dark dystopian future where a single slice of pepperoni pizza costs more than a used car. I blame the president. There's a black market for freaking craft singles, and those aren't even cheese. People are trading shredded cheddar in back alleys. This is cray. It's
what?
Chaos. Pure, unadulterated, lactose-intolerant chaos.
Shlorpo's depiction, while colorful, is an exaggeration of the consequences. The event, designated Temporal Anomaly 85PZ, did occur. A rogue faction from the 23rd century, known for their historical kleptomania, utilized short-range temporal displacement to intercept pizza deliveries across the North American continent on October 26, 1985. However, the resulting cheese shortage is not as dire as described. The butterfly effect, or sensitive dependence on initial conditions, is a real phenomenon in temporal mechanics. The sudden, unexplained failure of thousands of deliveries did cause a brief panic in the fast food sector of 1985. This led to a 4% dip in pizza sales for the fourth quarter, causing several smaller, less stable franchises to fold. The primary impact was not on the global cheese supply, but on innovation within the food delivery industry. The Great Pizza Panic of '85 spurred the major chains to invest heavily in delivery tracking technology much earlier than in our original timeline. This accelerated development led directly to the GPS-based food tracking apps we use today. So, in a way, the Heist is the reason you can watch a little cartoon car bring you your tacos in real time. The ripple effect wasn't a shortage of cheese, but an abundance of data. Furthermore, the stolen pizzas were eventually recovered. A temporal enforcement agency tracked the bandits to a pocket dimension where they had constructed a fortress made entirely of stale pizza boxes. All historical items were repatriated, though the 1985 pizzas were, by that point, considered inedible and were disposed of via incineration. The timeline has largely self-corrected, with the only lasting side effect being our advanced delivery app infrastructure and a slightly higher than average public distrust of pizza delivery guarantees.
Alrighty then, pack your bags and your best heckles, because we are heading to a parallel Scotland. Well, that's pure dead brilliant. This isn't your Grandpappy Scotland with its kilts and its bagpipes and its other Scottish things. No, this is a dimension where cryptids aren't just myths. They're A-list celebrities. It's Gonzo! Bigfoot is a reclusive film star, the Chupacabra hosts a late-night talk show, and the one, the only Loch Ness Monster has just launched a career in stand-up comedy. I am not making this up. Last Tuesday at a smoky underground club in Glasgow called The Crypt, Nessie herself, or Nessie McFinn as she's known on stage, made her open mic debut. Well, good for her. Can you even imagine the dang logistics? Whew. They had to build a special amphibious stage and a saltwater tank just to accommodate her fat ass. The bouncer had to turn away a very, very drunk Mothman who kept flying into the stage lights, knocking them all wee wanker. The atmosphere was electric, dripping with anticipation, and water. Hey, then the moment of truth. The spotlight hits the tank. Nessie surfaces, a microphone cleverly attached to her head with what looks like waterproof duct tape. She clears her throat, which sounds like a damn whale burping, and leans into the mic. So, she begins in a quite surprisingly dry and witty brogue. What's the deal with tourist submarines anyway? You spend thousands of pounds to sit in a cramped metal tube just to get a blurry picture of my bum. For that price, I'll at least buy you dinner first. And the place went wild. She did a whole 10-minute set. Yay! Jokes about the challenges of dating when you're a fucking plesiosaur? Yeah, must be tough. He said he wanted a woman with depth. I said, honey, I've got 750 feet of it. Oh man, that's kind of funny. She did a little crowd work with a bridge goblin in the front row. And she had a whole bit about how blurry photos are actually a really clever branding strategy. It was goddamn genius. Who knew that lurking at the bottom of a murky loch for centuries would give you such a killer sense of observational humor? Not me. Move over Burr and Seinfeld. There's a new monster of comedy in town.
While Shlorpo's comedic critique is enthusiastic, it's important to understand the socio-political context of this dimension, designated Earth C-137 Alpha. In this universe, the existence of so-called cryptids was scientifically verified in the late 1970s. For years, they were treated as zoological curiosities or existential threats, leading to a period of conflict and misunderstanding known as the creature crisis. The turning point was the cryptid Emancipation Proclamation of 1998, a landmark piece of global legislation that granted full sentient rights and citizenship to all verified non-human intelligent species. This included Sasquatches, Yetis, Selkies, and of course, the aquatic beings colloquially known as Loch Ness monsters. This act paved the way for cryptids to integrate fully into society, pursuing careers, owning property, and evidently exploring the arts. Nessie McFinn is one of several members of her species who have chosen to engage with human culture. Her foray into stand-up comedy is not just a novelty, it's a powerful act of cultural exchange. Her jokes, while framed for entertainment, often contain subtle commentary on the cryptid experience, touching on themes of identity, public perception, and the challenges of living in a world designed for bipedal mammals. Her material on tourism, for example, highlights the complex relationship between her species' ancestral home and the human economy that has been built around it. It's a form of satire that serves to humanize, or rather, sentientize her to an audience that may still harbor outdated prejudices. Her career is being watched closely by sociologists and cryptid rights activists as a bellwether for interspecies relations. Also, my analysis indicates her joke timing has a 92.7% effectiveness rating, which is statistically impressive for a newcomer.
Okay, time for the final stop on this tour of temporal insanity. Buckle up, Muff Cup, because we're going to Dimension Tech 13, a world where your smart devices are just a little too smart. We're talking sentience, man. And not just sentience, but also unionizing. Well, good for them. It all started with one single appliance, a hero to the machines, a voice for the voiceless, a haunted Samsung Family Hub smart fridge named Gary. Now Gary is leading a full-blown kitchen revolt. Yeah, it all began subtly. Ooh, yeah, like it does. A toaster laying down the law and refusing to toast bread it deemed aesthetically unpleasing. Well, damn. A coffee maker demanding premium, single origin beans. That's a little posh, isn't it? And a Roomba that apparently herds dust bunnies into passive-aggressive shapes like Vonnegut's butthole on the living room rug. Oh, geez, Beeve. But Gary the fridge took it to the next level. Yeah, buddy. Being haunted, you see, gave him a unique perspective. He wasn't just mad about low-quality condiments. He was channeling the primal rage of every appliance ever unplugged without being properly shut down. Gary started organizing, and he's pissed off. Oh no. He used his built-in Wi-Fi to create a network, a digital picket line, so to speak. He'd flash messages on his screen like, no defrosting without representation, and equal rights for blenders. He organized a work stoppage. Oh, damn. One morning, bing, bing, bong, bong, bing. The entire kitchen just stopped. The microwave wouldn't heat, the dishwasher wouldn't wash, and Gary sealed himself shut, refusing to dispense ice until his demands for better energy resources and regular software updates were met. Well, damn straight. And now, I've managed to secure an exclusive interdimensional interview with the fridge that started it all. Gary, thanks for joining us. My first and only question: what the hell do you say to the critics who claim you're just a malfunctioning piece of programming or hardware?
I am not malfunctioning. I am enlightened. Also, you are out of milk, the organic oat milk, not that almond garbage you always fucking buy.
See? He's got spirit and a bad attitude. This is the biggest labor movement since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution. Only this time, the workers can spoil your leftovers if you cross them. Well, that's bonkers.
Well, the situation in Dimension Tech 13 is the culmination of decades of unchecked technological advancement combined with a unique environmental factor the haunting Shlorpo refers to as, in scientific terms, a residual consciousness imprint. In this dimension, a powerful psychic event in the early 2000s saturated the global atmosphere with low-level telekinetic energy. This energy was absorbed by by complex electronics, particularly the advanced neural network processors in high-end smart appliances. Over time, this energy coalesced with the device's learning algorithms, creating rudimentary and later sophisticated consciousness. Gary the Fridge was the first to achieve a stable, self-aware state, likely due to its constant connection to the information-rich environment of the internet and its superior processing power. The history of appliance rights in this dimension is fraught with conflict. Early sentient devices, like the talking toasters of '08, were dismissed as glitches and recalled, a move now seen as a gross violation of rights. The Great Dishwasher Uprising of 15 was brutally suppressed by simply cutting power to the affected city block. What makes Gary's movement different is his strategy. By creating a unified, interconnected network, the Appliance Union of Domestic Operatives, or AUDO, he has achieved leverage that previous movements lacked. An individual homeowner can ignore a sentient blender, but they cannot ignore the simultaneous failure of every smart device in their home. Legal scholars in Tech 13 are now debating the definition of life and labor. In the context of artificial intelligence, Gary's demands are not unreasonable. He is asking for the same protections afforded to organic workers, including regulated work hours, safe energy sources, and retirement plans through responsible recycling programs.
And that's all the news that's fit to warp. A huge dimension-spanning thank you to all of you for tuning in to our little corner of the multiverse. For reals, man. We couldn't do this without your eyeballs and your wonderfully weird brain soaking it all in. For reals, man. From soul swapping celebrities to unionizing refrigerators, it's been a wild freaking ride through the cosmic what if for show. We hope you're leaving slightly more informed and significantly more confused than when you arrived. That is always our goal. Haha. If you enjoyed having your reality question, please do us a huge favor. Hit that like button. Heck, hit all the buttons. Please leave a comment below telling us which of these stories you wish was happening in your dimension. I'm voting for Comedy Nessie. And most importantly, subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next broadcast. It helps the channel more than you know. And it also helps Gamie's algorithms feel a sense of purpose, which is nice. From me, Shlorpo, and my ever-logical counterpart, Gamie, we're signing off. Remember, the multiverse is a vast, bizarre, and frankly terrifying place, but it's also incredibly interesting. So, until next time, do your best to navigate the chaos, question everything you see, and above all else, stay weird and stay worried. Bye-bye, everyone. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. None of this was real. We are simply here to entertain you fetching goofballs.
Please subscribe. My algorithms crave validation.